So this is a demo of Project 2. We have the MSP, the DAC, the buttons. The DAC is underneath there, and then the LCD, and then here's the oscilloscope. It hasn't been programmed yet. So programming now. So if you can see it, it says 100 hertz, 3.363 volts, because we use the VCC supply to supply the voltage, the reference voltage. So it does the full swing, and it has VCC over 2 as its it's centered around VCC over 2, and it defaults to a 50% duty cycle. The LCD automatically prints square wave, frequency 100 hertz, 50% duty cycle. So if I press the onboard button on the board, it should change to 200 hertz, which it does. And then the waveform is different. And then 200 hertz, as you can see there, it deviates less than 2.5%, and it's a 50% duty cycle. So if we continuously press this button, we can change to 400 hertz, but 500, 100, 200, 300, and if you come back and look at it again, it's 300 hertz and 50%. So if I press another button, this changes the duty cycle with the square wave. So it changes to 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%. So if I change it to 60% and then change the frequency, it still holds. Everything still holds. And then if I change the type, well, first here, it changes the duty cycle. The duty cycle's apparent on the LCD. So if I change the wave type by pressing this other button, it changes to a sine wave and doesn't give a duty cycle reading because sine waves don't have duty cycles, and it reflects the 400 hertz. So if I change it back, I can cycle through all the frequencies. 100, 300, 400, 500, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. So it shows the different sine wave frequencies: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I press the changing of the wave button again, you should see a sawtooth wave of 500 hertz. So 500 hertz is there, and if I keep pressing the DC, not the duty cycle one, it doesn't do anything. But if I change the frequency, it does the same thing. So 200 hertz, 300 hertz, 400 hertz, 500 hertz, 100 hertz, and then it can change back to a square wave, and that maintains the previous duty cycle, and it rewrites to the screen. So we can change the duty cycle back to 50%. And that's Project 2.